Is it any wonder that some of them, their anger and frustration and desperation in throwing stones, in throwing petrol bombs, in hijacking or burning vehicles, or even joining the IRA?
This video is a tribute to two young men, volunteer Kevin McCracken and volunteer Seán Savage, who in the same week in 1988 gave their lives for Irish freedom. Kevin McCracken was born on the 22nd of June 1956 in the Mater Hospital on the Crumlin Road in Belfast. His early years were spent in Alton Street in the Carrickhill area. Kevin was the oldest of 5 children born to Stephen and Rita. The McCracken family moved to Firth Lodge in 1862, settling at number 17 Norglen Parade, until this day the family home. Kevin's childhood was spent roaming the nearby Black Mountains or playing in the Falls Park. His friends would call him as a good footballer, always up for a laugh. He played for a number of local teams, and his childhood friend remembers Kevin, who was easygoing, adventurous, mischievous, and loved the crack. Seán Savage was one of 4 children born to John and Elizabeth Savage. He was born on the 26th of January 1965 and brought up in the family home on the Kashmir Road. His first years were normal and happy in his tight-knit community. From an early age it was clear he was a bright child with a great thirst for knowledge and full of enthusiasm. Seán was only 4 when he witnessed at first hand the oppression that existed in the nationalist community in the 6 counties. And the Kashmir Road, along with many other areas in Belfast, were reduced to rubble after attacks led by Paisleys and the state forces in the gaze of the beach factions. It was these events and others, which happened on a daily basis, which had a huge impact on Kevin's life. And in 1972, along with many other young men from this area, he joined the Fianna Fáil. Comrades recall that Kevin was eager to learn. He was involved in intelligence gathering, writing reports, training, and was always eager to become more operational. Kevin was also to the forefront of the youth resistance in the Firth Lodge area. When the British Army came into the area, we planned the resistance, and it became a way of life, and at this Kevin excelled. After 3 years, Kevin was accepted into the ranks of O'Glenahern, and it wasn't long before he became involved in numerous attacks on the enemy forces. His enthusiasm for operations is legendary among his comrades. One comrade recalled, "When the raiding parties came in, you could hear the bin lids banging. We scattered to put together an operation, headed to a dump, got ourselves ready, and many times before we were ready, shots rang out. Kevin had got there first. You just knew it was Kevin." Kevin was always eager to engage the enemy, and it wasn't long before the British Army started to target him. 2 years later, in April 1977, he was arrested and charged with IRA membership and causing an explosion. Kevin was sentenced to 13 years imprisonment, and it came at no surprise or shock to his family or friends that Kevin immediately joined the blanket protest. Seán began his education at St Gall's Primary School, where he is remembered as a quiet, intelligent child. He then attended St Paul's Secondary School in the Falls Road. School friends remember Seán as a very intelligent pupil who had a special interest in the Irish language. Others recall him as a quiet individual. He was neither shy nor withdrawn and had a friendly, easygoing manner. He also remembers Seán was very single-minded, and when he believed something or wanted to achieve something, he did it. In 1978, Seán's family moved to the newly built Downfine, but once again he was to witness state reaction to a popular campaign. When on the 15th of October 1980, they assassinated his neighbours, Ronnie Bunting and Noah Little, both members of the IRSP and the prisoner support group, the Relatives Action Committee. Kevin was to spend the majority of his imprisonment on the blanket and no wash protest. And the plight of this campaign was to have a huge impact in Seán's developing republicanism, particularly the hunger strike of 1980 and 1981. In 1981, Seán joined O'Glenahern. A comrade recalls how Seán came to the attention of the Republican movement. We were about to hold a meeting, and it was in the flat in Norglen Parade, when a comrade came in to say that two women from the RAC had just approached him, saying that a young man with long hair had recently started attending the nightly picket in support of the prisoners, and they were very weary of him. Two comrades left the meeting and approached this young man and identified themselves and where they were from, and asked him who he was. The reply they got, "I'm Seán Savage, and I want to join the IRA." That was Seán. He put his mind to something and nothing was going to stop him. Another comrade recalls Seán in the early days of the IRA. Well, unlike most of us, Seán never drank or smoked. He was very, very proud of his uncle, the former OC of the Belfast Brigade, Billy McKee. He was also quiet except when it came to politics or operational matters, both of which he could debate with real vigour and skill. He also recalled some other operations Seán had put forward. He wanted to kidnap a cow and fill it with explosives and chase it into the local brick barracks. Another was to dig a ditch 2 foot deep and 4 foot wide in a street in Turf Lodge, then fill it with petrol. When a British Army or RUC patrol came and drove into it, we would ignite it. Seán was far from impressed when somebody pointed out, somebody might notice digging a huge ditch like this, and what happens if a car comes round the corner? But thankfully Seán was a quick learner, and his natural skills soon came to the fore, especially when he met his close friend and comrade, Dan McCann. Seán had many hobbies. He particularly loved photography and cycling, skills he put to very good use in the struggle for Irish freedom. During the 1983 mass escape from Monkesh, Kevin was to play a key role. The OC of the escape was later to recall that without the bravery of Kevin and his comrades, who remained behind, securing the block, buying precious time, the escape would not have been successful. Kevin McCracken was released from prison in 1985 and immediately returned to the Republican movement. He also became involved in developing all aspects of the Republican struggle in Turf Lodge. Kevin was to make a huge impression, especially on younger volunteers, as he set about broadening the struggle. He became involved in developing the Irish language, the local commemoration committee, as well as taking part in the ongoing military campaign. A younger comrade remembers a particular operation where Kevin had to borrow a hat from one of his brothers. Not wishing to damage the hat, they put eye holes in it. He pulled the complete hat over his face as we entered the house. Kevin then issued instructions to the householder: "Sit down, stay calm, we'll not be here long." The householder turned to another volunteer and said, "Why's that man talking to the wall?" On the 6th of March 1988, Seán Savage, along with his comrades Dan McCann and Mairead Farrell, were brutally gunned down on the streets of Gibraltar. Despite the fact that all three volunteers were unarmed, the British government embarked on a media onslaught to justify the execution. As the families and comrades began the hard battle to have their loved ones brought home, the young people of Ireland took to the streets in protest. The IRA launched a number of attacks across the north, some of which Kevin was involved in. This was to continue as the British Army and RUC harassed mourners calling to and leaving the family homes to pay their respect. Cavan, along with other volunteers, set out to ambush the British Army personnel who had laid siege to Seán Savage's home. Cavan was shot by a British Army sniper as he took up position in Norglen Gardens. He lay mortally wounded for 15 minutes after local people had called an ambulance and died before reaching hospital. As the funeral of Seán, Dan and Mairead made its way to the Republican plot in Milltown Cemetery, thousands of people lined the streets of West Belfast to witness its passing. Were led to rest. The mourners were attacked by agents of the British state. 3 young men would have sacrificed their lives on that day, defending the mourners from a gun and grenade attack. John Murray, Thomas Baker Lane, and volunteer Cavan Brady. Captain McCracken was led to rest on St Patrick's Day, along with the bravest and the best women and men of O'Glenahern. people of Perth Lodge, neighbours and comrades of Seán and Kevin, remember with sadness and pride all of those who lost their lives in this struggle for Irish freedom.
"20 years now, where'd they go? 20 years, I don't know. I sit and I wonder sometimes where they've gone. And sometimes late at night, oh, when I'm bathed in the firelight, the moon comes calling a ghostly white, and I recall like a rock, standing arrow straight, like a rock, charging from the gate, like a rock, carrying the weight, like a rock, oh, like a rock, the sun upon my skin, like a rock, hard against the